The discriminant, nature of the roots. Let's take our quadratic function, minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4c all over 2a. The term under the square root, b squared minus 4ac part, we call this the discriminant. And this can sometimes be represented by the Greek letter delta, the capital delta, which is a triangle kind of shape. And so when the discriminant b squared minus 40c equals 0, this whole term under the square root will equal 0, and the square root of 0 is of course just 0. So what we're left with is this minus b all over 2a. Now this minus b all over 2a, this is the axis of symmetry. So if we take an example and we plot a quadratic function, now we can see here that the axis of symmetry occurs where there is two equal real roots. So when we have the discriminant equaling 0, then the quadratic function is going to have two equal real roots. So the roots are going to be exactly the same. Let's take an example where the discriminant is not 0. Let's say it's greater than 0. So now we've got a different quadratic function, and the axis of symmetry is going to occur at this location, and we're going to have two roots equidistant from the axis of symmetry. So we're going to have one root that is minus from the axis of symmetry. We're going to have one root that's above the axis of symmetry. We say we've got two real roots. So we've got two real roots when the discriminant is greater than 0. Let's take the case where the discriminant is less than 0. Well, this time we're going to have a square root of a negative number, and we cannot compute the square root of a negative number using real numbers. This is how we're going to have complex roots. So we're going to have a quadratic function that looks something like this, where we've got the axis of symmetry and there are no real roots. So we say we've got no real roots when the discriminant is less than 0. So we've got three cases. We have equal real roots when the discriminant is exactly 0. We've got two real roots when the discriminant is greater than 0. And we've got no real roots when the discriminant is less than 0.